All right, another day, another module, and this time around we'll be focusing on working with dates and times in pandas. So we've played around with a lot of different data types so far. We've had strings and floating points and booleans and numbers and integers, but now we're going to finally explore the advantage of working with Python's datetime objects and the pandas datetime objects. Many times you're going to have data that reflects time or the specific day that something occurred, and you may want to perform some kind of calculations like calculating the distance between 2 days or the duration, finding out what day of the week something occurred, finding out or classifying data by something like the quarter in which occurred. There's plenty of real life business situations where working with dates and times is critical to understanding a data set and analyzing its data. So this module is going to follow a slightly different path than the previous modules because we're actually going to begin with a review of Python's datetime module. So we're going to take a little bit of a break from pandas, and I'm just going to show you a quick review of some of the objects that are available within the core Python language that deal with working with dates and times. So for the next few lessons, we're basically going to take a slight break. There's going to be no CSVs. I'm just going to show you some quick reviews of Python and its own functionalities that are related to date and time, and then that'll be used as the foundation to show you how those same things occur in the when representing multiple days in something like a pandas series. But let's begin by creating a new Jupyter Notebook. So I'm going to click New here and select Conda Root. And let's give this notebook a name. I'm going to call it Working with Dates and Times. Of course, we have to import our pandas library as PD. And I'm actually going to add another line here, which is going to be critical, which is import datetime as DT. So I'm going to write it out and just take a second to explain it. So this might be a slight point of confusion, but datetime is not actually an external library. So it's not like pandas or NumPy or Matplotlib or any of the other 100 libraries that are included within our Anaconda distribution. Datetime is actually what's called a module, which basically means it's built into the Python language. You can sort of think of it like an internal optional library. It comes pre-packaged with Python. However, it's not triggered or activated by default. The reason for this is, at least on the Python developer side, is to preserve memory and to conserve memory. Not every single Python project will involve dealing with dates and times, so there's really no point utilizing the functionalities within this module until the project requires it. So when Python loads, for example, in a Jupyter Notebook, it does not include that datetime module as well as other modules. It just doesn't load them. And so we have to specifically specify that we want to import datetime, which is built into Python, specifically whenever we do want to use it. And that just, again, helps us conserve memory and only utilize that memory for these modules when it's required. So datetime is not external, it's not separate, it's part of Python, but it does need to be imported, and the same syntax is used as with a regular library, and the same alias syntax is used as with a regular library, and the most common alias for datetime is DT. So I'm going to execute this to load the library and the module. I'm then going to click the escape key to enter command mode and hold my B button to create some cells below to work with. And we are all set to get started with a brand new module. And as I mentioned, in the next lesson, we'll start diving into a review of Python's datetime module, which we just imported here. So we'll take a little bit of a break from pandas, take a look at some of the built-in objects in the module, some of their attributes, some of their methods, and so on. So I hope you're excited to dive into a brand new module, and I will see you in the very next lesson.